Well, I try to stick to the Valentine's Day theme, but this is all the pink I can find in our wardrobe. Anyway, so according to my objectives, I'm supposed to keep this to the point and organized, so let's cut to the chase. Right, here's my game plan for today. I am going to first do a series of questions, try to find out how well you can relate to a story, which I'm then going to say. And at the end, I'm going to try to cajole you all into sort of changing the way you behave in certain social situations. Some trivial things which you don't really notice much. Alright, so let's start off with the questions. Right? How many of you travel by trains often? Okay, and to be more specific, how many of you know the different special compartments that Indian Railways have in these trains? Name a few. Go on. Okay, let's move on to this side. So you have the pantry cars, you have the luggage cars, you have the women's compartment. Anything else?
Compartment.
Pantry.
Yeah, pantry. Everyone thinks of that first, but that's another compartment that the story that I'm going to say revolves around. Okay? That's the disabled compartment. Alright? So back in December, 25th actually, I had gone to Gulbarga. My sister studies medicine, to surprise her. We had a good time there, and then on the way back, I came back to the station. I was standing with the railway tracks behind me, and I was listening to some music, trying to while some time observing people, because that's what I do when I'm waiting, just observe people, judge them and all that. So out of the corner of my eye, I saw a really neatly dressed man. He was wearing white tops, nice tucked shirt, and he had a cane in his hand, trying to find his way around. Right? He was visually impaired. And he entered the railway station. I didn't really pay much attention, and then he started coming by. And then all of a sudden, behind me, a train went by really fast. Right? And you know when these trains go by, they kind of like, you get nervous. Right? I mean, I jumped, okay, because it went by so fast, horns blaring and everything, and I was really scared. And I looked up towards this guy, and he was just standing there frozen. He was literally like this, cane on the ground, frozen. Alright, and I realized that his only sense of navigation, his ears, were botched up because of all this noise, right? So I went over to him and asked him if he needed any help, and he was like, "Sir, can you please, in fluent English, sir, can you please direct me to the disabled compartment?" I was like, "Oh, it's a disabled compartment, I didn't know that." Right? And I asked him where it was, and he said it usually be towards the end of the railway track. So I took him along, and we reached the end of it, right? The end of the shaded part of it. And I couldn't find it, and the train hadn't come by yet. And then I asked this guy who looked sort of decent. I was like, "Okay, do you know the disabled compartment?" He just looked at me, he didn't care at all. Okay? And he said he didn't know, fair enough. So we moved on a little bit. This is the other guy, and I asked him again. I was like, "Excuse me, sir." And then he looked at me, stared at me and the other guy. He was like, "Allah, hold." And I just looked at him in confusion. Okay? I didn't realize what happened. Then it struck me that he literally just shooed me away. I don't know why he did that, but at that moment I wanted to express my anger through my gathered up vocabulary of reserved words, if you know what I mean. Okay, but I controlled myself, and I decided that I was just going to have to find this guy, find the compartment and drop him off. The train had begun to move in by that time, so I took him along. We just kept walking. There was no shade. There was a slight drizzle. No lights, also proper lights, because places Gulbarga, I guess it's not that, not as developed as Bangalore. So we reached the very end of the platform, around 300 meters from where we initially started off, and that was the disabled compartment. The people standing there with crutches, no chairs, no seats. People literally resting on their crutches already. And I helped him in, and I made my way back. And then throughout the day, I was just thinking about what went through, and I realized that over time, in cities such as Bangalore and really fast cities, people have become a little less friendly, a little less patient, and we begin to classify a lot of our. We begin to classify many people. We've started to put together sets of people as strangers. And it's gone to the extent such that some of us even call our neighbors. I mean, we think of our neighbors as total strangers, right? And here comes the cliche line. I realize that if you've got to change something, you have to do it yourself. So I made up my mind that I was going to behave differently in certain social situations. And here's hoping that you will do the same. For example, now you enter a lift and in your apartment, right? And there's this guy, completely random guy who you don't know, but you know he's facing the apartment. So instead of looking all the way around, avoiding eye contact, why don't you just look at him and say hello? Right? You may find a new friend. He may be a nice person. Second situation. So you're in a car and busy traffic and all that crap, and you see an old couple waiting to cross the road. Why don't you just stop and wait for them to cross the road instead of just speeding away, right? Because people barely wait for this, especially taxi drivers. Put their bonnet in trying to stop traffic, and then becomes a deadlock when that happens. And finally, if you're in a railway station, you find out if you happen to see a person who's blind trying to find his way, help him out. Don't hesitate. Right? So why did I bring up this story on Valentine's Day gathering? So I did that because that's, I guess, when it comes to strangers, you can't really show them love. You can instead be a bit more compassionate. Alright, so this Valentine's Day, I request you all, love yourself, love your partner, love your friends and family. I wouldn't say love everyone else, but do show a little more compassion to your fellow humans. And it will not only make you feel a little better, but it will also help society eventually become a better place.